No, 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 no. You, in your ear, what you hear? Physically, like now, you hear my voice. There is sounds around my voice. What is it? Yeah. Yeah. Plus that, I hear bullets. War for me is it's more than just to see a scene on TV. There's so much behind that, and I guess a lot of Palestinians they can explain it in a different way. Sometimes I wonder what's in your mind. I say, I think if there is a sniper, where we should hide ourselves.
Okay guys, to the left side now, this is Bisgad Saif settlement over there, but we could see the security fence and how they confiscating all the lands here, which is all the lands here down here belong for Hizma to the right. But we could see all the lands until the end over there, they confiscated to be belong for Bisgad Saif settlement, and even now they still building new houses, they're gonna extend with it until there. We could see where Anwar also is from Duma. Anwar Dawabsha, he's gonna be with us for 2 days, today and tomorrow. You know also the area. Anwar on the subah. لا بدي اختار الاسهل.
During my journey, I met the social workers of UK. It was very, very interesting moments for me in my life. Because first of all, we were hiking around Palestine, discussing, talking, sharing experiences, sharing moments together, out of the box.
But it's good to have people to tell them different stories, isn't it? But it's just, I suppose, if I've never have met you before, then I wouldn't have access to that different story, would I?
Exactly. But now you come here, you have a friend that you can, oh yeah, I'm not telling the truth. So I'll ask him what's happened or really. And I will tell you at least 90% from the truth.
Yeah.
But if you open your TV and put it in one of the stream media,
Yeah.
it's a different story.
Yeah.
You will never hear anything.
In my mind, you know, kind of like what Dave said, when I thought of like a settlement, I didn't think of these massive category cities. They're settlement, you know, I thought of smaller things. I don't know. So that's the biggest thing. And I don't know, seeing the visual of the wall. It's just fucking crazy.
Idea of a refugee camp doesn't really come across as what they look like.
Yeah.
So they feel like more like cities. I wouldn't know that it's a refugee camp if
You still feel it's a tent, so you think about it containers
That's
and
what you think of. That's what you think of.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, they've been staying there for, what, 70 odd years? Since, yeah.
My generation, Mustafa's generation, is the worst, is the most difficult generation.
Really? In the middle.
Because we
When you were born in the
in
time
the
you were
first
born.
Intifada,
Yes.
and we grow up as a teenagers in the second Intifada.
Yes.
So in these two times, it's a little bit difficult. We lost so many people around us, and there's so many people also get arrested. And I felt that day I was privileged to get this chance to hike with the humans first, with people from a different culture, and plus they are specialists in their works, with different ages, with different kinds of employments. I was really surprised about how many different fields they could
work in their countries, and this is add a lot for my knowledge for what I want to do in the future and for ideas.
For me, for example, and for the guys that were born in 2002 or in 2003, and are like around 18 years old now, it's totally, the vision is different, even because of our education. We studied something different. We studied something different by history, by geography, all of that. And what people they study today, even these generations, they were born in 2003-4, they didn't recognize any war or invasion happened. They live the occupation, the struggle, the difficulties, but they don't live. They didn't live that like face to face with the army.
Yes, yeah.
For example. So for sure, different. That's different is nice, but in somehow in some issues, you find there's a big hole between two generations thinking.
Yeah.
So people to people and social media is now a very important way to tell about the situation.
Especially for young people as well, because even, say for example, our situation with young people, they almost live up to that or want to live up to that. You're constantly told that message that you're, dangerous or bad, or you almost. You live up to that expectation, don't you? You don't have anything other to. You're given that image, aren't you, already?
So that's a model.
So you've got a rough plan, but really it speaks to you, and I think that's the same as our thinking and our thoughts when we go back and when we're back in. Like, it's okay asking us what we think now, but it's when we're back, not with this group, not with these people, away from here, in daily practice again, that it comes together, our thinking on it, rather than you can't have a plan of how you're going to reflect. It happens like organically, like.
Yeah.
I believe this kind of informal activities by understanding life with the habits of life, like walking, sharing the difficulties of the mountains, look at the sunrise, the sunset together, sharing our water, our food, our information. It's really helpful way to get the knowledge, to get the happiness, to get the joy. And as a Palestinian, I'm so happy when I see people from different kind of specializations. They are enjoying going around Palestine, which is we live under occupation, but we can provide also joy and happiness for others, and also we can share our experiences as a specialist in our work for all the world.
Under the table for you as a tourist. They want you to read it, and in some way to scare you from our citizens, say like dangerous to life, like terrorist people inside here, they could kill you inside here. You could lose your life.
15. We love it. So aggressive, Reggie.
We met different social workers, and I was speaking to one of the women we met yesterday, who's a practicing social worker. She does obviously fantastic work, but is also working under this environment and in sort of the conditions of this environment. And we were at a checkpoint and she sort of said, "Are you scared?" And I was, but I didn't. I was like, "Oh no, I'm fine." And she said, "It's okay to be scared. I'm scared too." And so she must be scared all the time, and she's trying to do social work in amongst all of that, and trying to live her life and have children and fall in love and all these things. And it's just, I don't know.
They wouldn't allow us as a Palestinian to continue through the checkpoint with you guys again. So you're gonna pass by yourself as a tourist, and we will call the people from Qurtuba school to come and to meet you from the other side. Okay?
So Riyadh, you're okay?
Either Riyadh, me or Riyadh, or any Palestinian will not walk from here.
Even Riyadh? And also Samih, and also
Samih.
Majdaleen, and Manar, and Suno.
Okay, we have to wait.
Yalla, as a tourist, please come, just please here.
Yalla, please come.
We're here at the checkpoint at Shahada Street in the old city of Hebron. We've got through as the tourists, but we're waiting to see if our Palestinian colleagues will be allowed to join us. So we're just waiting here before we go up to the school to see the children at the school and look at the old street and see how it is now with the settlers.
So we tried to go through this checkpoint, which leads to Shuhada Street, and to go to Cordoba School. The army, they stopped us and they did not allow us to pass. Only they allowed the tourists and the people who's living at this area. And they say we have no permit to go through this checkpoint. So that's actually part of our life in Palestine here. Rebecca from England, she's in solidarity with us. She refused to pass through this checkpoint to be with us as a Palestinian. So they're in solidarity with us. Thank you.
We just came up to the checkpoint and I don't know, it's just hard, it's just painful, like the people who you come to know can't pass that area, it's like a prison.
We have two checkpoints. The first one is at the beginning of the Shuhada Street, called the 56. Yes, and another one, 55, it's the downstairs from downstairs. Yeah, you see that.
She said that if there is no good life or good life, there is no good education. Residence, peace, love, happiness. We can use the safe place as a way or as a tool to help the students. And to change the thinking, the negative thinking to positive thinking. Sometimes we give them exercises to be relaxed.
I guess today I was really struck by the head teacher in the school, because outside was such a harsh environment full of hate. It was very moving, what she is doing and what she has created and her ethos. I was very touched by that.
We talk in Britain about post-traumatic stress disorder and how we deal with that. These children are, it's not post, you know, it's ongoing all the time.
Okay. Okay. She said that because of the policies which she did here at the school, the students always increased the number of the students, and the families, of course, when they feel that the school succeed, the families will stay and stay more. Wait. The door is closed. Okay, lovely.
Shit. في عملة الساعة.
Just one thing. Bad people, they are few, but they are so noisy. Okay? We need to be noisy. If we'll be noisy, we can change something in the world, I guess. We just need to be noisy. We need to be like the right side of the things. When we tell the truth, we need to be noisy. If we gather around and we became noisy, we will win. Because there are a few people, there are not a lot.
في يوم من الأيام في آخر زيارة لأحمد قبل المحامي يوم الاثنين الماضي بتاريخ 17 نقل لنا معاناة أحمد وتدهور صحته، فهو يعاني من ضعف جسدي شديد ولا يقوى على الحركة. دائما كان النصر حليفه وكل القادة.
Why did they arrested? يعني كلك يعني ليش اعتقلوه؟
ما بعرف، بيعتبروا انه كل واحد من الشعب الفلسطيني مقاوم او بتشكل خطر على امن الدوله، امن دولتهم، بما انه بتضامن مع الاسرى، المدربين بيجي بتضامن هون مع الاسرى.
I'm the General Secretary of the Social Workers Union in the United Kingdom, along with the British Association of Social Workers. So obviously we were quite active in your campaign to be released. So we were putting a lot of pressure on the social media and highlighting what happened to you. So we were very active in the UK, so you had a lot of solidarity.
I suppose I knew very little, if I'm being honest, before I came. I didn't have, you know, a great insight into, I suppose, what was going on. But I think it's important as social workers to have solidarity with people who are struggling.
I will tell you how much it affects not just me.
Yeah.
It affects even the other prisoners that I was with. I was in an isolated prison, contains people who spend more than 25 years in prison. It affected us in a very positive way, that there are till now people who are caring about freedom, about justice, not just in Palestine, in the whole world.
Quote I came across a few months ago, and it was saying, with all the activity, all the struggle, all the commitment, all the challenge that you guys are dealing with, what's the role for the international community? And the answer was, without the international community, it's the sound of one hand clapping. And we want to be the other hand, we want to clap with you.
We are clapping together.
We clap together.
For peace and justice.
For peace and justice. The international community stands with you. And I think the idea of bringing people out here, making films, raising awareness.
خليني الحين أنا بحكي مع ديفيد وبرجع لك ماشي؟
You can read all the textbooks that are available in all the situations. However, nothing prepares you for the reality of being in Palestine and sharing the experiences of the Palestine people, but also the opportunity to meet social workers, academics, and also the people of Palestine. To me, that's a great reflection and a great insight and opportunity.
What happens here is that people meet heart to heart. I think that's what I was saying. It's just a lot of the other nonsense gets stripped away.
It's one thing, you know, just sitting in a sort of boardroom, having a presentation and a Q&A, but it's another actually spending some time like doing an activity, you know, with a group of people. So there were just some really interesting off-the-cuff conversations that happened there, and I feel we kind of got to know each other a bit.
Even things I never thought of, like the water supply, or closing roads, or even roadblocks, and the impact that is having on the day-to-day life of the Palestinian people.
We spent a couple of nights staying with families. We stayed in Duma village and another village I can't remember the name of, and they were so generous. And in the second village we stayed in, there was a 7-year-old daughter, I think, who wanted to dance for us, which was lovely, and they would just make this amazing food and just share little bits of their cultures and traditions from different villages, as well as telling us about the bigger picture.
It breaks your heart, shatters your heart. It completely strips the skin bare from your bones, and then just somehow you find that you kind of get rebuilt, but through the connections that you make with people and the things that you see, and coming to understand how people can be truly human in the most inhuman situations.